Nationers, it's been 1 month since the Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was highly anticipated that Lil Wayne was going to be performing at this year's halftime show because it was in New Orleans. But instead of Lil Wayne, it was Kendrick Lamar who was set to headline the Super Bowl halftime show. And if you know anything about Kendrick or have watched that performance, there are tons of Easter eggs. So today, NFL just dropped a video on how Kendrick Lamar's epic Super Bowl halftime show was designed and built in 8 minutes. If you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Okay, here we go. Halftime show.
How you doing?
Halftime show.
Welcome
There's
to the
Dave
circus.
Free on the left. For anyone that doesn't know, that's the manager, creative
Super Bowl
director.
halftime show is not only the biggest live performance
Tandem.
for any artist, but it's become the
Kendrick
biggest
Lamar.
cultural touch point for America and for the world.
It certainly has. Tell you that.
This is probably the most complicated halftime show in years.
Here's our 4 stages.
It's such a ridiculous feat to do this show in terms of the amount of people, the amount of engineering, the amount of time.
It can get tense, especially, the time crunch.
Let's get out there. Let's get out there. We got time to make up. Let's go. Hit the grass.
We want the home audience to go, how in the hell did they get that out there in 7 minutes, and how are they going to get it off?
I'm telling you right now, I'm a big logistics guy. I want to know how things work from not of what I've seen, but the behind the scenes of people that have the headsets, people that have monitors in front of them, people that are, screaming, we gotta go, we gotta go. I love logistic videos like this. I was itching to watch it. I'm super excited to see how this goes because it is quite true for me. How do they get that out there in a timely manner?
Where the hell are we?
We're just in the back of
Bruce
some guy's
Rogers,
yard.
and I am the production designer
Bruce Rogers.
for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, that must be a
We're in Salem,
very
Connecticut.
intense position.
So we moved here about 20 years ago. Got a little bit of land that we can hide from the rest of the world. Yeah, we love it. We love it here. It's quiet.
It's quiet. It's the dogs barking.
Welcome to
And
the
a
crib.
stranger being in their house.
When you look at the overall halftime show production team, there's the NFL, Rock Nation, and Kendrick's team, which is
Right.
Dave Free. We're just a small part of that. We're the design and art direction. And
I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a little weird because this seems like a living room setting. And I'm just gonna point this out. This has nothing to do with the video, but they have like 2 lounge chairs and then they have like 2 desk setups, like chilling in both of the corners. But then they also have things over off to the left that like probably would be hung up on a wall, but they're just on the ground. I don't know. I maybe looking into this too much. Why is it in there?
entity of that production team.
The name of the company is Tribe Inc. We
Tribe
do
Inc.
entertainment
Interesting.
design for live shows, televised shows.
That must be pretty
events,
cool, though.
Pretty much everything.
Very
live
stressful.
entertainment.
This will
Must be
be
pretty
our
fun, though.
19th consecutive Super Bowl.
I got this cool
Damn. That must be an honor.
model as an example. This Lady Gaga. She
Lady
could go
Gaga
and-
one was
and
really cool.
perform
Her set
in
design
any
was super
one of
awesome.
these positions and put on moments of the show.
Oh, yeah.
What I love about
That's
the
so
18
cool.
that I've had a chance to work on
So cool.
is that it kind of runs the gambit. I mean, Beyonce, Tom Petty, The Who was a design
Mm-hmm.
that I'm proud of, and it was super high tech. Prince, going way back to my first
Mm-hmm.
one, people think that was the best one ever.
Rihanna's halftime show.
Hers was
real
really basic
brass
in
and
design,
big
though.
Sensitive field, so we needed to stay off of it. The flying pieces really.
But the
mark of that
Mario,
performance.
Super Mario Brothers.
Shelley and I have been working together doing design and art direction for almost 28 years, I think.
Wow.
And my daughter Lily
How do
has
you-
joined the fray, and she is now a fully fledged art director. She's been on 5 or 6 of these Super Bowls.
It can be tense sometimes, but
You
we're
don't
all
say.
working
You don't
together
say.
for
It's
the
like a
same
family
goal.
affair.
We do the work we do because we love it.
That must be pretty interesting, like being in the same field and like working with your spouse, like wife, husband, and then also your daughter. Like that must be super interesting, like the dynamic of like, how do you tell someone like their idea sucks? Okay, so we're 143 days out.
So
We're about
this year
5
we're in the
months
Caesars
out.
Superdome.
So
It is
Mid-October,
a
I would say.
great city for hosting a Super Bowl. It is a venue that creates a lot of additional opportunities that we might not get in other places.
We've started as early as possible, where we will go and do site surveys.
How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
Hey, how are you?
We go early so that we can identify what the lay of the land is.
The Superdome was honestly a blessing because it was indoors. It had turf, not having to battle sunlight or grass.
Oh,
A lot
yeah,
more
that
sensitive
must be
things
super
like the HVAC
interesting
system and
to
things
deal
you wouldn't
with.
think would come into play, but they start to affect the creative.
Bruce, good to see you, buddy. Hey, man.
Yeah, you probably get pretty limited in that scope.
All right, we'll see you in there. Everybody.
I've seen a lot of tables like this. Let me go back here real quick. I've seen a lot of tables like this where like everyone's kind of on the outside. Is the person sitting here the one projecting everything? Is that what's going on? I feel like I'd be so distracted. Like there's Pat McAfee show going on over here. Might be behind my webcam. It might not be. But then there's just like other things going on. I don't know if I'd be sitting in the back row. Like could I see just as good as somebody sitting in the front row? I don't know.
Everybody, we're gonna get started.
I feel like the dynamic's kind of weird. Oh, there's people. It's people.
This year was the
People that couldn't
earliest
make it,
that
I
we've
see.
ever announcing this opening Sunday, kickoff weekend.
Kendrick
Which is
Lamar
kind of nice.
has been
Kind of
officially
cool. I like
confirmed as
that.
the headliner for
The
Super
full
Bowl 59
season
Apple
to
Music halftime show
hype it up.
down
I like
from the
that.
Bayou.
So that allows us to have Kendrick and his team from week one be able to not only start thinking about this in the creative of the show, but we can speak about it openly.
We know who we're working with, what we're driving to, and we can obviously use his name. But in terms of any of the details
Like they
of
have
the
to use a
show,
mic
number
for this.
of
That's so
parts,
funny.
Scope of it, expectations on creative, camera positions, all of that, that really will be in the days and weeks to follow coming out of this.
Part of my job here is to work on the creative side with the artist camp, but also work with the field ops for the NFL, Nick Pappas and team.
So Nick, obviously we all know, head groundskeeper here.
Our job is to go and present to Nick on what we're trying to bring out onto the field.
I bet you Nick would be so upset if that field, like they just took off all 4 sections and there's just like indents on them. I'd be so upset. I'd be like, oh my lordy. The second half of this game, the Super Bowl that is going to be god awful. I don't feel like anyone's ever ruined the field. I have never heard of a story where they've ruined the field like at halftime. So I feel like we're always good there, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
And his job is to make sure that the athletes have a perfect professional field to play on.
While we're building the show, it's always checking
And we've
back
watched
with
a video
football,
on how
checking
they
back with
spray
the
paint
stadium
as well.
to make sure that we're not interrupting or impacting the game itself.
Where we can limit runs, true stage runs on and off. I don't know, I know we went, I think 1 on and off most last year. I think we can get to a point where we can do 2 on and offs from a stage perspective this year. Yep.
As we always say, no field, no game, no show. So we have to protect the field, and he is field protector number 1.
And what you're essentially trying to minimize is the amount of time that the carts or the big field casts are sitting on.
Ideally, yeah.
The venue and how it's configured plays a big part in what we can pull off.
I think what I
They
love
probably
about
get
this
real
room
limited in that scope.
starts with this ceiling, and it really does feel like a high space. I think we should take advantage of that and do as many 360 effects and camera shots as possible. His show, his arena show, is pretty kind of played in a 360 way. So I know he loves that. He loves interacting with everybody from the middle of the room.
Well, plus you got to think that like every set is going to be so unique. It just is. It's just going to be so unique to like what they want. Imagine they like come up with everything and then all of a sudden like the artist is like, nah, never mind. I have this.
Bruce Rogers and his team starting to really look at the building. What are the unique opportunities? What are the unique challenges? What are the restrictions we know we're going to have to work around?
Oh, and the camera
what are some
stuff
of the
too?
base level plans we can set.
That must be
before we
kind of
even
difficult
know the direction of the
to
show.
work around, trying to figure out. Now we're getting to the cold season.
What we're trying to do today is just basically touching base, saying hello again. I think Mike's got some
a week
updates or
later?
some stuff he wants to present to us.
Yeah, I can kind of talk through, here, I'll share my screen. I think that first call was more of like a brain dump, if you will, just to kind of test the temperature and like let the team know where our heads were. We're nowhere near having a full-on design, but we were starting to think about things we thought were interesting.
My job is to take the creative that's going to come from the artists themselves, and my job is to help them get it on the field and off the field in time.
I feel like that
what's great
Dave
about
guy,
Bruce is he's like an
this guy,
encyclopedia
not him,
because
the guy
he's
talking,
done
him.
this so many
I feel like he
times.
watched
You
so
might
much
remember
Kendrick
that
stuff.
It's we have one tunnel, and it's at the
September
south end zone,
27th.
and it's the one that heads straight for the goal line. I mean, for the goal post. So we have to split left and right in order to get in something to the scale that we're after.
It was great to have Bruce as a sounding board and a partner to really
Shout out Bruce,
make sure
dude.
we
He's
were on
done
the right track
18
from a
of these.
logistical standpoint and just a
Oh
feasibility
my
standpoint.
goodness.
Anyone that's seen Kendrick, there's always this like desire to have an element of theatrics. You know, he's never just gonna hop on stage and start singing. We have so much room and latitude to, really push this in a cinematic space.
The challenge that we have is you don't want to
They
limit the
both
scope
part
of
of the
ambition.
same call, but they're
And you
sitting
don't
like
want an
10
artist
feet
and
apart.
a creative team to go in thinking about
I love
all
that.
the things they can't do.
We knew we wanted streetlights. It's a recurring thing. That's in a lot of Kendrick stuff. It's in a few Kendrick videos, so I wanted to incorporate
Yeah,
it into
streetlights
this
are super
performance.
cool. I
If
feel
we
like they
were to
played
do
with those
something like
very,
this,
very well.
And we have people on top of them. What does that look like? Is that
Look how
feasible?
easy that he made this, by the way.
I think Kendrick is looking for a chance to do something completely different. So we're looking forward to helping him make that happen.
I like it.
This
I like
year,
it.
We have to travel.
They got on
underneath
this so
the
quickly. I don't
goalpost.
know
You
if it's
can't
like
remove
typical
the
that they're like
goalpost,
on
and
it by
that
like
limit is a
September.
9 foot 8 inch high
So.
max height of anything that we roll through the tunnel.
There's 8 street lamps, and the tricky part
Oh, wow, they got
is
this stuff going.
These have to be carts that are rolled out. Obviously, the street lamp will be down and lift up into place once it gets out there.
So we drew what you see here. We hand that to our set shop. And so now we're building mock-ups.
So this is one of our street lamp carts. We bought real street light poles, cut them down to size, and then heavily modified them to be secure for the acrobatics that'll go on top.
It's December.
Bro just got up there with like no safety harness. I know during a show you had to have it on, but my God, yo, what a G. You know, this is like the one teacher that's like, nah, we don't, the one science teacher that is, that doesn't care about like any of the safety. He's like, watch this. It's just like the most crazy, preposterous science teacher thing. That's this guy right here.
So we're in the midst of going, we got to go.
So yeah, we've made some progress. We're about halfway
that we're dividing
from our
and
total.
conquering how we're gonna build everything. And there's so many things to build in this design.
60 days. Man, they must have been going. Painting.
From very early on, Dave.
Everything's kind of
really
that gray.
keen on like this idea of like rudimentary childlike shapes. You know, triangle, circle, square, X. And then we landed on this formation that felt like a video game controller, if you will.
Here's our.
So I know a lot of people mentioned that it was like, oh my goodness, it's like a PlayStation, you know, PlayStation's owned by Sony, you know, UMG, Drake, whatever it may be. It seemed like the idea, maybe Dave Freed, because he was the one that came up with that design, maybe that was his purpose. But I think from the outside perspective of people being, you know, in that creative, they wanted to have that childlike, easy, square, triangle, circle, X, made it so easy. But it just so happens that it's a PlayStation, maybe. The intention is key there.
Our Kendrick stage, and here's our 4 stages that are the shapes of
I like
video
it.
games.
I like it.
This idea of
It's like that little
us being at a
tic-tac-toe.
game and playing a game within the game was like what we wanted to get across.
It's probably the most difficult that I've seen. We've never had 4 stages before.
We're in the middle of our fabrication shop. This is the main staging components
Yes,
that people will
sir.
see. So we've got square stage, circle stage, triangle stage, and a bunch of other elements.
We just go right through the
GNX.
holidays, give everybody Thanksgiving off, give everyone Christmas off. Other than that, we're working straight through.
Yeah, that must be pretty
And
intense.
that's 250 people going
You kind of have to
solid,
get it done.
solid.
Because you
This
like have to
literally
get this
will
done.
change the way you do halftime. We'll have to have a full team building the square. Same with the diamond, same with the circle.
And the thing is if this is the expectation
We're
for
still in a
these guys, the
nationwide
bar has been
search
raised. 18
for
years and
a
it doesn't get
Buick
easier.
GNX. That's 1987.
The car was one of those early things as well. And obviously, by the time the Super Bowl happened, GNX had dropped Kendrick's album. So
Here's my thought process. Because that entire album was like a surprise. Like, he posted the teaser, then like not long after posted the album. And some people had been, you know, artists on the album that were featured had mentioned like, oh, they thought it was going to be posted like in January, kind of like right before the Super Bowl. And like, obviously people here would have known about it, but he just like dropped it like so early. So did the people here know about it? Or how did that work? Because I could just I could imagine them being left in the dark and just not knowing about it. And like, oh, we might have to pivot. Oh, we might have to pivot.
You know, I think the cars,
they had all of those calls only to scrap every single one of them.
The video, so it was only right to have it as a part of the performance.
It's both a sort of rare and popular vehicle. It's obviously a classic, and we wanted to find one within our timeline that was pretty much ready to go as far as the exterior went, and then allowed us to do the work we needed to do on the inside.
The car is on top of our square. It's basically going to be a shell inside, and we're going to do, it's like the clown car where 30 dancers will come up from underneath.
I was surprised more people didn't know that that's how that worked.
Interior,
you know what I mean?
Made room for
like
all
trying to get people out of that car.
So
like they would have had to been underneath the stage.
Where the car will go.
Like the amount of people, like how many people were in that car? How do they fit everyone in there?
For the performers to be in.
What?
The cones indicate a giant hole in the top of that stage. Over that hole goes the car. And then through the hole with that access ladder and others are where the dancers will come out.
Yeah, that must be pretty unique because like the car is kind of like on it.
Today, tomorrow, and Saturday is the bulk
so
of
they
our
had to wheel out the car.
We've got about 21 trucks going to New Orleans. We've shipped Triangle Stage so far. We're putting Circle on right now, and then we'll get a couple of the Square Stage carts on at the end of the
this
day.
must be kind of crazy.
We'll be in LA.
What about if any of these trucks get like a car crash?
And then move our operation down to New Orleans as we get closer
What
to
if
the game.
what if one of these, any of these got into like a car crash? That'd be bad. That would be real bad. Let me see if I can see one of their license plates. Where are they at? They're in California. They got to travel quite some ways. That's pretty cool though, I will say. 4 days left. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely.
Well, what we've got, I'll use my poker, my craps table. We're building, basically, this is like 5 stages in one.
I love it.
A little bit of each one is in the lineup. And so it's all about docking order. What do we do with it once we get on the field?
Right.
Information.
Right, yeah. So I see what Doug is cooking up here. Dude, imagine your name being Doug Cook and you're cooking up here. Like, what a name. So it seems like this is the entrance down here by maybe this is where I'm going to put my webcam. I don't exactly know. There's kind of like an order, like a line you would have, and it just goes boom, 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 and then you go out, go out, go out. You just need to know the orders, and that's pretty cool. I like how they've done this so far.
Information changes quick. Like today, we changed the lineup by moving things around, so it helps us work out routes and stuff. It's a huge tool to the process.
Hello, happy Wednesday. We use, as a ballpark figure, 10 field team members per piece. So, you know, it became obvious to us probably back in early December that we're going to need about 500 people to move all this stuff from the tent to the lineup and in place on the field.
That must be crazy.
Let's just zoom in on like the lamp.
Oh, wait, hold on. I saw a little Easter egg here. Oh man, this must be so interesting because they want it to be a surprise, of course. So they're saying like no social media, you'll have all your credentials and access revoked if you violate it. And of course, thank you for your cooperation. Like how strict are they on those types of things? Because you have to think about it. There's like 500 people who are probably Kendrick fans, you know, maybe enjoy the Super Bowl or at least want the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, maybe live in the area. This guy's catching waves. You got to think about it like that. Like that's a lot of people to hush hush, you know?
Place on the field.
Let's just zoom in on.
And imagine like somebody does.
There's 8 lamp posts that are sprinkled in throughout, right?
And I love the light post idea, how they fold and
ending up in the middle of the field. Up here you'll see them.
3D printing must have helped these guys so much.
So it's really going back to the model,
right?
To try to explain this to hundreds of people.
Oh, I like that.
Levels from cart leaders to the field team. From design
yeah,
team,
working left to right and then right to left.
They always come in here. We're always kind of giving them the latest.
Doug is cooking, dude.
We're very liquid.
Doug is cooking.
There's almost an undetermined number of things that could go wrong.
You don't say. Mic doesn't work.
Onto the field.
Somebody falls.
3 or 4 months doing this, doing that, changing this, changing that. You know.
You just hope that it goes smoothly.
I think we're currently around 50 carts, I believe, and if you just line the train up, it's a quarter of a mile. And so if you're at the tail
really?
of
Only a quarter of a mile?
Train, you hear
only a lap on a track? It's kind of crazy.
Stopping, it still takes you 5 minutes just to get to the goalposts. And so that means it has to be a perfect flow onto the field for us to build it in 5 minutes.
If you get 5 minutes, that's crazy. I mean, I guess your easiest thing to do is be like, be on the megaphone. Like, I think that's Doug. I think that's Doug.
We're gonna thread right through this thing and get on the other side. It's Wednesday night, rehearsal week. We have about 3 rehearsals this evening. Everybody has to work together.
So you have 3 rehearsals?
For Super Bowl Sunday.
Is that moving too?
So really what we've got going here is if we've got the majority of our staging crew is coming through the South Tunnel. So the way the install is designed is the square that you'll see in the set design has to make it all the way to that corner. So the first carts that come in are mainly the square staging and a couple of these street lights.
Oh, very nice. I like that. Using physics, baby.
What's the time you've got? So 4 minutes so far. We're clocking in around 12, 13 minutes right now with cameras and crew, and we really need to be at 8 or below. So we've got a few minutes that we still need to shave as we learn how to finesse the in and out. So
yeah, you're going to have to do that quite a lot, huh? You're probably going to be doing this quite a lot.
Shelly and Lily have a very important job, and that is wrangling with our other art directors to make sure that all the detail is really as perfect as possible.
Imagine putting all of that time creating this whole set and you're still over 8 minutes. Like, I think like 8:05 would be okay. But you think about it. Imagine it's like still like 12, 11 minutes. Like, you cannot shave off any time. Like, what do you do? There's already choreography to all of these sets. What do you do?
It's flush to the top and down the corner. There you go.
It's really difficult to put down a field cloth because unless you're anchoring down anything, it's going to move. And the dancers here, there's 400 dancers, so all their syncopated dance moves tend to push the fabric.
Can you, do you have an iron? If you had an iron, if you had a steamer, that just
honestly, I was fine with the mat. The mat was fine to me, to be honest.
My name is Jesse.
Like, I understood it had to be pretty easy.
Producers of the Super Bowl halftime show. We are focusing
What a job.
on
What a job.
creatively. Got a lot of elements in this show, a lot of choreography. Got to make sure that everything's lit properly. It's really just finding all the trouble spots and really trying to hone those in. So we really need to get it right tonight. Hey, Rita. How you doing?
Oh, man.
Welcome to the circus.
Welcome to the circus.
Superdome is that we can be here at 10 o'clock at night and it's going to look exactly the same as it does at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we can dial in our lighting conditions and everything else and know it's going to look the same.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense because it's domed. Now they're fitting everyone in there.
When y'all load in, we're also going to put the stairs over here.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it is near. Small. Okay, no, it's very small.
Get tiny.
You walk in, you're like this. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And they all have headphones, or like at least the ears in there.
All the elements
so that's
gotta
real
come
nice.
together tonight. And for me, it's working with everybody and trying to create an environment for everybody to use their superpowers.
Good luck. Have fun. Tiramisu, we go body for body, I hand you a body. How do you get hype in like rehearsal? Because I always feel like I would like half-ass it in a way for like
Video
me.
Village is where all the producers are. It's where Kendrick's team is.
Also, the color grading was beautiful, to be honest. Oh, people don't know that Hamish Hamilton has been the director of like every single Super Bowl for like the past 2 decades. This guy has like 3,000 followers on Instagram. Check him out. He does like all of the Oscars, or maybe a handful for specific artists, but like Oscar, Grammy, like big awards. He's done these ones forever. Hamish Hamilton TV or something. But dude, this guy, he does it all. Camera work. He's just a legend, dude.
To try to figure out what we
did the Rihanna one. Did this one.
And
He's
just
done so many.
Try to really help shape this thing. Just watching this, the lighting cues look more dramatic than last. Yeah, yeah, it's way more dramatic than it was last night.
That's good. Looking for the broccoli. Hold on, that come out. See.
You know, when you get there the first day, like, oh, this is large. Like, when you see it in real life, it's like, you know, it sets in for real. So we were able to.
Yeah, the timing must be pretty
see
rough,
what
though.
ideas still worked in rehearsals in terms of like.
For a lot of choreography, especially around that circle, to get that right.
Is it realistic for this amount of people to be on this size of the stage?
What I didn't really fully expect was the amount of performers that we're putting on each of the stages. You know,
all of that work the past 5 months and be like, oh, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Call the engineer.
Don't know how we're gonna do
let
it.
him do a quick calculation, and we're in a safe zone with our performers. Which
And you're talking about all of these guys too?
We're going to do this about 2 times fully through and a handful more in pieces. And then once it stops, then we get to address all the notes and reacting to whatever challenges we have to address.
Yeah.
Joey, do you want to do the grip tape?
Yeah, Julio's ready.
Okay. All right, what we're going to do is we got a request to add a little bit of grip tape because Kendrick is up here.
It's going to fall off. I've seen this on Instagram. He said it was too slippery.
So we're going to add some grip tape. Yep. Do the outer edges and right down the middle.
Yeah, imagine
we'll
that.
See if he wants more.
That's so funny. Imagine he just falls. First scene, he just falls.
We were granted permission to use pyro inside the building.
It's kind of crazy.
For the first time in 7 years.
What do you have to do to do that?
We were really relying on evac systems, and we found that it's not taking the smoke out enough. So we can't take a chance on the third quarter coming in and it being hazy and smoky.
Imagine all of the players come in and they're like, I thought we were inside. I didn't know it was going to be foggy. I didn't know I was going to be playing in the fog in the third quarter.
They just did one of each kind of the pyro to make the cast aware so that they knew in this next run, I think, that we'd be doing full pyro.
All right, everybody, here we go. Let's clear the field.
That should just be hazy. That'd be so funny.
This is a close rehearsal, everybody.
I like how Samuel Jackson just wearing like a giant yellow puffy jacket.
Rehearsing this much for 13 minutes is definitely new. So the rehearsals was such a critical battleground, if you will, to just really test out the ideas because you have such a limited time.
My hope is that we get to just sit down, watch a great first half of football, knowing and trusting that these rehearsals are the reason why on Sunday it will be great. And so ideally, it's the stress and the running around, the hard work.
There we go, Doug is cooking.
It's really just a matter
He's got the megaphone.
Coming in, doing exactly what we rehearsed and executing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, all that rehearsal must be kind of nuts. I've seen the behinds with Serena.
Really good show, yeah.
That must be kind of nuts. Because they're all kind of facade, like mock-up. Like they're not like the true thing, so. Putting all those people.
That morning you're checking.
Imagine. Oh, man. I'd be sweating. I would not be able to get any sleep that night before. They would be like 20 melatonin pills. And you and your family just walk up.
In with everybody.
9:52 a.m.
Feeling good.
Stressed as can be. Good morning. Oh, they probably had to wear black to blend in, too.
Happy show day, guys.
Happy show day. Happy show day.
No, not this dress rehearsal. We're locked and loaded.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, we could not do this without you guys and everybody here, so thank you very much.
So we'll stick around.
All right.
Thanks, Doug. Doug is cooking, dude.
The atmosphere here, Super Bowl 59, and we are ready to go.
Yeah, thanks, Jim Nance.
Give me a game day hug, all of y'all.
Great job.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Can I borrow like $1,000?
Look at how much bro is sweating right now. I'm loving the behind the scenes because no one would ever have seen the amount of work that these guys put in, but I can't help but pause it here because I notice how much he's sweating right now. I don't know if he spilled anything on him or if that's just like stress sweat. Oh
I didn't
my
sleep
goodness.
Very good. I woke up 2 or 3 times through the night, just keeping an eye
I
on
told you.
changes that might
I
happen
told
through
you.
the day.
I told you.
One
I
of the
told
notes
you.
I got was to try to camouflage the car, the GNX car, so when it's rolling in, people don't automatically go, oh, that's a GNX.
Oh, wow. Finally thought about that. Probably could have saved you those 2 to 3 changes throughout the night. Oh, man.
Making their way onto the field here
Wow.
at the Superdome.
Most running they did all game.
Outside in the compound, our halftime team is getting ready.
Oh, man, dude, that guy's got an eye patch. That's dope.
But right now, the biggest unknown is that in order for us to be able to effectively clear out the smoke and the haze after halftime, we need to open up the vents in the very top of the dome all the way to their widest. But currently, there's potential weather rolling through here, and if that's the case, we're gonna have to close those vents. And if those vents are closed, we're gonna have to significantly reduce the haze, the pyro, and the smoke in our show. So we are watching the weather map, making sure that we can keep those vents open and we can keep the show that we've rehearsed.
That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, the national anthem in America the Beautiful was beautifully done, to be honest. It was really good. Here we go! Kick in! Stress. Like, that would be the moment at kickoff when the ball's kicked. I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. Ah! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It is raining. Oh my God. That must be so bad that it's raining right now. Oh my gosh. Guys, in real time, I'm just realizing how bad that could have been because there's tarps on everything, luckily, but oh man, everything must have been so wet. Oh, Doug is stressing right now. Doug is very much stressing right now.
It's still raining out?
It is.
Is it like a torrential downpour out there?
I'm seeing 90% for the next at least 20 minutes.
What are you gonna like open up those HVAC vents?
Eagles after one, Super Bowl 59.
Stressed.
Before you know it, you have to start lining things up. And so that's where you have to be prepared to go as soon as that game starts and really just relying
Doug does not look like he's having a good time right now.
Everything that we've practiced during the week.
Let's get all of the
you didn't practice.
LP1, S1,
you didn't
S2,
practice any
S3,
rain.
LP8, let's get them all right here.
Well, the rain impacts a little bit of the safety with the ramp. People slip, and so that's our big concern with that, plus protecting the set. So everything was tarped. All carts have their own tarps.
2 minutes to go in this first half. And up
you better hope that 2 minutes is the longest 2 minutes of their life.
That is, do we untarp at 30 seconds? Do we do it at 1 minute?
Let's stop right there. Let's get the tarp off. Let's lose the tarp right here, guys. Let's lose the tarp.
Doug is doing the hard work, man. He's doing the hard work.
Waiting, watching the clock, thinking you're about to go.
Oh my God, did my desk?
There's
What just happened?
Injury or there's a timeout.
And the Chiefs will call a timeout.
You know, that 2
my
minutes
desk just
turns to
shook.
30.
Hopefully nothing bad happens.
Peter about the question about
I'm stressed right now. Doug is stressed.
But we really gotta be
Nick is stressed. I think that's his name.
Butterflies.
He's stressed. I forget his name.
A lot of nervousness, a lot of adrenaline, but there's a lot of.
Well, and you know what? It's probably a bright idea that a lot of the people doing this are the people that are going to be like dancing. It would make the most sense because they're already out there.
A lot of happiness and camaraderie.
Hey
oh my goodness.
LPA, the best cart ever.
Woo!
But
You probably get to know your cart friends pretty well.
2 minutes before the show starts.
Bruce, that's his name. AJ Brown! He's in! Oh, he's stressed. Also, just noticing, dude, Doug is literally wearing a square, triangle, circle, and an X. Dude, he's dropping hints to everyone that does not know.
A handful of carts.
Bro is a walking Easter egg.
And it just is bringing in a lot of moisture and wet.
Moisture and
I was
wet.
most concerned about the stage being slippery. And, you know, before the show, you can hear Kendrick talking on the mic, being like, hey, the stage is wet.
So we all have towels, so we're gonna dry everything off.
Copy that. I am in position.
And they will run out.
Oh my goodness. Go, go, go. Move, 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 move. Don't even care about the 10-second.
9.
Here we go.
8.
We're running. They're running. They're running.
Should be at their carts. We should be on a standby to stand by.
Dude, this must be so stressed because of that rain. The rain changes everything. Oh my goodness. Go, go, go! Sorry, I thought that was going to be. Here we go. Pushing cart 1.
Step and move out. Move out.
Here we go. Dude, the guy sitting on the camera, that's hilarious. And you have to turn it. Oh, that must be so awful.
Let's get out there. Let's get out there.
Bruce, get out of the way, dude. They are trying to run. We're running behind.
Come on down.
The people up in halftime control at that point, we are on comms, we're communicating.
Jesse, we're gonna open the roof. We're gonna open the roof?
Oh, man, they're going to open it.
Go for pyro.
But we can only watch and hope that everything we rehearsed and talked about is being executed as it needs to.
Samuel Jackson just has to sit there. Kendrick just has to sit there. Hopefully everything's...
That's nice.
and we'll have 8 minutes to get everything set and into place for the start of the show. And that means it's 7 minutes. We have to call the point of no return for the commercial break, which is a minute long to run.
Go to your spots, go to your spots.
All right, the lights are out. That means the halftime show is coming your way.
Now we're in the point of no return, 1 minute.
When we come back, it's Kendrick Lamar.
So at 7 minutes,
Bro, I would be stressed.
Once we call it, there's no turning back.
Bruce, Nick, everyone. I mean, I guess you still have time.
How'd it go, all right? Is his car nice and dry?
Yep.
I mean, the worst case scenario,
90, 80,
he's sitting.
17.
Here we go, everybody.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Because there's people, yeah, they do that whole thing. Oh my gosh. The whole percentage thing.
Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us.
Oh my goodness. That grip tape. Grip tape.
Etiquette speak with a vigilant tongue. Predicate this time is I'm carrying heavier hearts right now.
Oh my goodness. Hamish.
Carrying various darts right now. I deserve this
like tiramisu.
We go body for body. I hand you a
dude, oh my goodness. Chills every time. Dude, they do this so beautifully. You would have never known it was raining. They were stressing the point of no return. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, that 1 minute, 60 seconds.
People in the stadium watching the game, and
Bruce, congratulations, dude.
That are watching it on TV. The fans that are there for the most premium sports and entertainment experience that
Serena,
exists on Earth. We need to deliver.
Samuel L. Jackson.
There's a lot of
all
people
of the
watching
dancers
us expecting the best, and we don't want to walk away after this show and think that we didn't really pull off the best thing possible.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what America wants.
For the last 3 months, there's been pictures of all of these things. So now to see the street lights and to see the car and the steps and the red plexi room, all these things were just ideas. And now they are physical pieces
Bro's
of scenery.
hanging on
so
the off
Bruce
of the
and Dave
street
and
light.
Mike and Shelly and the whole team, we're seeing it all in real life.
That must have been the crazy. Dude, this guy's just dancing. I mean, I guess that's all they can do.
The exuberance and the high fives and the hugs when the show ends.
You have to think about it. They still have to rip everything up and get it off in the exact same amount of time. I'd be stressed. Good job.
But we as a team
good job,
can't
Hamish.
Until the last cart is off the field.
All right, back to your carts.
Grab your stuff. Grab your things.
Field, it's first come, first serve to get through that tunnel.
Cart coming through, SL2, let's go.
Dude, I would be getting out of the way, dude.
This line, stand by, line them up, give me a line.
Everybody's just running as fast as they can to the tunnel. The cast, the dancers, cameras, trying to get out.
Moving, this side. Just line up, you guys hold.
And in this stadium,
I would be having my hands on it.
Tunnel. So everybody's going to the same place.
Once we load all the stages off the field,
man.
the crew all empties out. That to me is the moment of celebration.
Woo! Doors closed.
We did it.
Bruce, Nick, Jesse, the family,
really
those
and
two, I don't
really
know if they show their names.
Really proud of
everyone. Doug.
Shelly, Lily.
Dude, he was
really
cooking.
proud of
Shelly
them.
and Lily.
My daughter Lily, she's fierce and she's fearless, and she got bit by the bug, and she loves it. One of these
she
days,
got bit by the art direction
halftime
bug.
show, but I'm looking forward to
for the most stressful job you could ever have in entertainment.
It's a big team. It's a really big team.
The walking Easter egg,
you just
Doug.
know that everybody's an expert.
Dude, this guy, he's wearing an Essentials. He's wearing an Essentials hoodie. This guy, he may look like he's 45, 50 years old. This guy is he's a 25-year-old man.
In their field, we have the best lighting, best audio, best producers, best directors.
Yes! For me, it's just all gratitude.
Hamish is probably geeking.
Design and create on such a high level and a large platform.
There's so many things you can learn by doing things with a massive professional production team.
Good job, Bruce.
Amazing.
If you
5
can pull
months,
off
man.
what we're able to pull off, then you can pretty much feel confident that you can do anything.
I got an Academy Award. Those are Emmys. Little baby Emmys.
Hey, dude, good job. Again.
What is that? I don't even know what it was. That's so funny.
I have a tradition where
man.
as soon as it's over, I step out, call my mom.
Well, did you get to watch?
She's 80-something years old. She goes, oh, yeah. The halftime show is better than the game.
It's surprising because, you know, I feel like the older crowd that performance was definitely not for, but I'm glad Bruce and his mom had a wholesome moment there.
I'm glad you got to see it. I love you.
It is an exhausting process,
Man.
and it's stressful, but what I find is that when you work on this show, we all come together to be a part of the team that knows if you're successful, if you do it right, we get to win the Super Bowl.
Let's go. Dude, I've never seen a behind the scenes like this.
Cook Academy of Television Staging, the school of getting a lot of on the field in a short amount of time.
Nonetheless, it's not just Doug, it's Bruce, it's Nick, it's Jesse, it's Lily, it's everyone. It's everyone involved to put on a halftime show of that caliber. And I hate to say it, I think the bar has definitely risen for set design, what you are able to pull off. It's gonna be a rough time for them. Nonetheless, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.